Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Here we have Midnight Legion finishing first in C1 CWL, and I'm going to show some of these attacks for you, with this episode being all about different versions of Root Riders. So notice his Warden is running the Eternal Tome along with the Rage Gem, means he does not have the Healing Tome, so he needs to bring a healing spell to keep his healers safe in the core, because we all know with Root Rider attacks that if your healers die, your raid dies. So by not having the healing tome, he has to bring a healing spell to keep his healers safe. So creates the funnel with a Spirit Walk. Gonna take out this Expo. Recalls. And I believe he's gonna go directly in towards these Fire Spitters, as they are some of the most dangerous defenses in the game. And back again to the healers. Fire Spitters are the most dangerous because they are the most likely to peel and kill your healers off of your troops. So this is a nice thing about the Rage Gem. Rage Gem comes in, more power to the troops, more power to the healers to heal up the troops, and by not having to use a rage spell in his army comp, he can bring a second overgrowth to better funnel his troops. Notice how he has the BK and the AQ just to the left on the flank of these Root Riders, so they all work together, distract defenses for each other. Goes ahead, uses the Eternal Tome. Healers still have plenty of health. BK and AQ doing a great job keeping these Root Riders wrapping around the space. Poison Spell Tower goes off. We'll have to watch the healers if they encounter a lot of poison. Town Hall becomes active again. Now he goes ahead and overgrowths the backside, kind of far away from where his troops are, but the overgrowth is meant to force his RC to take out this Town Hall. And notice he had the Rocket Spear on the RC, and that is a great trick for a lot of these ring bases where the Town Hall is in the center and has an island around it. You use the Rocket Spear to keep the RC in one location and shoot the long Rocket Spear shots to take out the Town Hall. So now he's just got this narrow thin channel left to finish up this raid, and you can see these healers are just fine. Everything's protected. A mass of troops left. Base is absolutely wrecked. Awesome base recognition, awesome plan. And that's the nice fun thing about Root Riders. You can do a bunch of different variations, with this being the first one that we're looking at. Encounters a tornado trap at the end too, that's very nice. And notice Snake Bracelet on the BK. Awesome hit to Dexter. And we'll take a quick look. It was in the troop launcher. We got 3 loons to test for some seeking air mines and some black air bombs to make sure that his healers stay alive, and some Yetis for tanking and Yeti mites to kill some defenses. So here we have Merrick coming in, and he's going to Spirit Walk this 6 o'clock compartment, and then he's going to push his RC to the right. Deals with his Expo, uses 2 invisibilities nearly at the same time to force his RC over to the right. And notice he has the haste vial on his RC because he basically wants to eliminate this entire bottom right side with his Spirit Walk. That way he can just send all of his troops right up the core at the bottom left. Recalls the RC, has a giant arrow with the giant, puts down a skeleton spell in front of the monolith to distract the monolith, giant arrow through the monolith, and now sends in the log launcher to try to take out this monolith, and to also try to take out this multi-inferno tower, and to trip some of these defensive troops coming in. However, there were some multi-targeting defenses, so the skeleton spell was not able to distract the monolith for that long, but that's just fine. He's got the AQ coming in behind the giant, basically a mini king. So the AQ is going to work up into the center compartment with the Root Riders pathing at her flank at the top left. Notice the BKs outside with the Snake Bracelet to keep the Root Riders and the Valks pushing from the top left over to this Town Hall. So notice this pathing. All of his troops right together, all bunched up, all benefiting from the healers at the same time. Takes out the Town Hall. This overgrowth's about to wear off where the AQ is. Lets the Rage Tower trigger. Overgrowth again. Now his AQ will not have to deal with a bunch of raged up defenses. She's just beating against a wall. All these Root Riders, base is absolutely destroyed. Sends in a baby dragon just to help clear up some stuff, and try to get his troops to end somewhat close to the AQ to provide for some tanking. So now everything's just waiting for this overgrowth to wear off. He still has BK ability. I'm guessing Spiky Ball. Spiky ball comes ripping through the base. Base is done. Awesome hit to Merrick. And he also had some Yetis. Alright, so here we have Gizera, and he's coming in with the Minion Prince version. Starting off with the RC Spirit Walk, as always with these Root Rider attacks. Unless you're doing a Warden Fireball version. So once again, creating some pathing. He's got this hook tower, so he needs to make this RC invisible. Not a problem though. Really easy to keep your RC protected when facing a hook tower. RC eliminates the wizard tower, pushes into the core, going to take out this X-Paw, and hopefully trip this rage tower compartment. Uses the haste vial to take out a bunch of these defenses. Always use haste when you want to get a big RC spirit charge. Uses the giant arrow just to clear up some trash buildings and create some pathing, and also get these healers out for the AQ so the AQ can wrap around the outside and funnel everything on the inside. Keep all of his troops together. Now he comes in with some loons, some healers, and the Minion Prince. So my guess is he's going to use the Minion Prince Dark Orb over top of this Rage Tower compartment. Goes ahead, uses the Eternal Tome on the Warden. Everything's safe, protected. Looks like he also has the Healing Tome activated. Goes ahead, freezes up the enemy AQ and the multi-gear tower. Going to use his Dark Orb over this Fire Spitter and enemy Monolith. And he's actually able to even catch the enemy RC and the Ricochet Cannon on the back end. And the Ricochet Cannon is always troublesome to deal with. So notice he has the Metal Pants on the Minion Prince because he does not have a lot of air troops out in front to tank for air traps for the Minion Prince. Whereas if you were doing a Dragon army, a lot of times you like to bring the Henchman Puppet with the Dark Orb, or Dark Orb with the new Dark Crown. But since he does not have a bunch of dragons and loons out to protect for his Minion Prince, he needs to bring the Metal Pants to keep the Minion Prince from dying. So now just finishing up this base, got plenty of Root Riders out in front of his AQ. Minion Prince still healthy, which is kind of insane. Warden still helping. And yeah, base is wrecked. Awesome hit to Gizera. We'll check what he used. Used 5 Velks and 3 Hogs. And the purpose for the 5 Velks is to help create the funnel on the outside, to clear up the outside edge, to keep all your troops on the inside. And the Hogs just come in to help tank, target some defenses for your RC and your Root Riders and your Velks. So here we have Lobo coming in, doing another little spirit charge, creating a funnel. And he's going to have to use the giant arrow to clip the core of this base because the core of this base has an invisibility spell tower. And he needs to activate that before sending in his troops. So his troops can direct target the town hall and get that out as fast as possible without triggering the invisibility spell tower and wrapping around. So he's creating really great pathing. Going to finish up this 12 o'clock compartment. Recalls RC. Also notice this hook tower right here. Hook tower grabs the Frosty, pulls the Frosty, and that's better than the AQ getting pulled in. Giant gets pulled in, has an Ice Golem to freeze up some stuff, freeze up some defenses, sends in the loons to help tank for the healers. Always want to protect your healers. And now the AQ is creating pathing for his Root Riders to go directly into the core. She just needs to finish off the Ricochet Cannon, which she does. Now everything is wrapping into the core. And even the AQ herself goes into the core, which is very nice because now she can benefit from the Warden Eternal Tome and the Warden Healing Tome, get healed back up from these healers, and just keep on helping, supporting behind these Root Riders. Goes ahead and uses the Overgrowth, and notice the Overgrowth is on the right side to force these Root Riders back towards where his king and where his Siege Barrack troops are coming from. This way they can work together, synergize, get more value, and counter less defenses at a time together. So base is absolutely wrecked already. You can see he's got BK ability, RC ability, just waiting for this Overgrowth to wear off to drop his freeze and skeleton spell. And notice he dropped the freeze over top of the Inferno Tower, the multi-Inferno Tower, so that the multi-Inferno Tower cannot kill the skeleton spells, so the skeleton spells could help distract the monolith better. Base is absolutely wrecked. Awesome hit to Lobo. Lobo went perfect. So yeah, very nicely done, guys. We actually finished first in all 5 CWL clans. Twice in C1, twice in C2, and once in C3. Alright, so here we have Win coming in. He has the Healing Tome and the Rage Gem, so no Eternal Tome, which is kind of cool to see. Notice he also has 2 Overgrowths, so he'll be able to keep his troops tightly packed together, all underneath the splash of the healers, and he'll also be able to overgrowth the Rage Compartment section, or the Rage Tower section. So it comes in eliminating a Fire Spitter. Whenever you're doing a nice little Spirit Charge, you want to eliminate, I would presume, at least 1 Fire Spitter. That way you can come in from behind the remaining Fire Spitter and protect your healers. Again, all about protecting your healers. So he's got that nice section. Now he can just come in, take out the Town Hall immediately, and just push through the rest of the base. And my guess is he's going to be letting that Rage Tower and Poison Tower section trigger, and then overgrowthing that section. Notice how he dropped that Ice Golem down to tank for his BK and AQ, so they can get more value. Now all these defenses are frozen, can't do anything. He's got the Loons out in front of the healers. Giga Bomb goes off, that's okay, his troops have plenty of health. Goes ahead and overgrowths that section before the Rage and the Poison go off. And I believe that's just to keep his healers more healthy, so that the Poison spell doesn't trigger on top of his healers. So he can save his Warden Healing Tome for later in the raid, which he uses right now. Notice how all the RRs and all of his troops, healers, everything's getting splashed by the healers. BK's keeping them all bunched together. Overgrowth kept them bunched together on this bottom left side. Goes ahead and overgrowths the back end side to force his Root Riders and troops into the heavy damage core area. Goes ahead, uses a freeze up this multi-Inferno Tower, freeze up the Scattershot. And now notice all of his Root Riders, all of his troops in the center are distracting for the healers, making sure they don't encounter these multi-Inferno beams or the Scattershot. BK's just pumping out a bunch of snakes. AQ steps up, targets the monolith. A couple super barbs, back end, finish off that Wizard Tower, and base is absolutely wrecked. Awesome hit to win. And yeah, this just goes to show that you can do a lot of variety with Root Rider attacks. 1 invisibility spell left over. Base is absolutely wrecked. Look at that Rage Gem. Look at all the troops left over. So yeah, definitely worth experimenting with multiple different versions of Root Riders. So here we have Ronnie. He's coming in, I believe, with the more traditional Root Riders, pairing the Healing Tome with the Eternal Tome on the Warden. What Ronnie likes to do is come in and get a huge Spirit Charge dive so that he can not have to use an Overgrowth, because he creates such good pathing with his Spirit Charge that he does not need any additional pathing with an Overgrowth for his troops. So he comes in, goes ahead, uses the Haste Vial, and you always want to use the Haste Vial when you're trying to take out a deep, big section of the base. So just letting his RC churn and burn. Takes out that Scattershot. It's going to be recalling this RC soon. Recalls RC. And now he's got a very nice channel to send his troops in from 12 to work counterclockwise around this base. And notice they should be out of reach of this hook tower for most of the raid. Alright, so sends in the troops. Has the balloons out in front. Tank for these healers. Sends in the AQ from 9 o'clock with the giant and the giant arrow to soften up some of these defenses and create a funnel at this left corner of the base to force his troops in towards the Town Hall. So he's got a skeleton spell conveniently placed right next to this monolith and ricochet cannon that are both very deadly together, but they do not do any splash. So excellent base recognition to use the appropriate spell. So goes ahead, uses his Eternal Tome and Healing Tome. Healers are all back to full health. Troop Launcher sending in something. We'll find out at the end of the raid. Drops his Rage. He likes to bring 2 Rages. Just power everything, rip through the core of the base. He's got the BK out in front of the AQ, tanking for the AQ. as you always typically do with these attacks. RC is still alive and healthy, BK still has ability, base is already done, and he even has the minion prints on the very back end, so the minion prints will not be distracting and forcing his troops to encounter any more defensive damage while trying to deal with them. That's very clutch as well. And yeah, that's the little things that take you from medium level to pro level. So finishing off this multi-gear tower, you can finish off this multi-arch tower, multi-inverter tower left, just one Tesla mortar, base absolutely wrecked. Just about to use BK ability. Finishes off the base, awesome hit to Ronnie. And he also using Yetis in his troop thrower. Alright, so here we have Sonic, and Sonic is going to do a very nice Spirit Walk, and then he's going to put a skeleton spell in front of the monolith to distract the monolith for his log launcher. So that is going to be fun to watch. So we got the RC coming in, goes ahead, makes that multi-arch tower invisible because the aura from the Electro Boots will deal with that multi-arch tower by itself. So no need to waste any extra RC shots on it. Steps forward, deals with this Expo, going to deal with the Arch Tower, and he's going to go ahead and recall because he's just after this 3 o'clock compartment for funneling. So now he's just checking out exactly what he should do. He's going to send the log launcher again from the top right after this monolith, so he needs to drop down a skeleton spell to help distract. Also putting down EQ to soften it up to help these logs attempt to take out this monolith. Now he's got the AQ, hard to see, but at 3, and the AQ has nowhere to go but towards the monolith. And he wants the AQ to come in from behind this log launcher, go into the core. AQ is going to deal with the core herself, so then he can send his Root Riders from the top left, and they will just absolutely eliminate the top left while the AQ is in the core. So excellent job, excellent base recognition, awesome plan to get the best synergy possible. And if you absolutely want to wreck bases, the best way to do it is hero and troop synergy, regardless of the attack strategy. Goes ahead, uses Warden ability, pushing in. Notice he's encountering these fire spitters and this rage compartment down here at the bottom right. So goes ahead and sends the overgrowth over top of that compartment, freezes up all those defenses, stops them from being able to target anything. His AQ steps up and deals with the enemy AQ while she's stuck on a Root Rider. Now he's got his RC dealing with the multi-gear tower, using the rocket spear as well, eliminates the town hall, and now all of his troops are coming in behind this fire spitter. Goes ahead, uses an invisibility spell, try to keep his RC alive. RC unfortunately encounters the tornado trap. Yeah, base is absolutely wrecked. Awesome plan by Sonic, aka Bang, Baby Bang, and just phenomenal CWL performance by Midnight Legion, taking first in all 5 clans. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and catch you guys next time.